Jesus.
Hey, y'all. That was weak, but the way that the Lord just came and just took over. She walked in the door, and
It was over from
it
there.
was tears from there.
Mm-mm.
But we're grateful that He did show His presence to us, and us knowing that we're in alignment with Him. I'm trying, y'all, to get myself together. Hmm.
Yeah.
But that just brings us into the subject that we're going to talk about today, which is submitting to the Holy Spirit and obeying what He says go, when He says stop, when He says don't do that. Literally submitting to every word that you're hearing that He's saying to you. Um, it's hard, it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we don't want to do it. Because she walked in the house, I didn't want to do this today. I just was. It's not that I don't want to do it for God. It's just sometimes you be so like overwhelmed
Mm-hmm.
that you just be like, there's so many other things that's going on in my life, and you want me to sit here and talk about this podcast?
And
Huh?
if we want to be honest,
Look.
it's so much going on in my life that I don't understand and I don't like, and you want me to still worship you? Let's just be
Let's
honest.
be honest.
Like, I'm supposed to still worship? Because let me tell you how I walked in. I said, yo, I don't even know what's wrong. She said, it'd be like that. I said, no. Like, it pisses me off because if anyone knows me, when I say I am big on articulating my feelings, I'm going to tell you how I feel and what's going on. And the fact that I couldn't even express what that was, what it felt like, I just laid in her lap and cried. And then she cried.
And we both crowed. I'm just
And then ended up on the floor.
Yeah.
In the midst of worship. And honestly, I am just, my mind is blown. And I am so thankful that I have a friendship where if she says, hey, the Father said, get down and worship Him, okay. And there's no question asked. Or if I come and I say, hey, let's go out here and let's go pray around your whole apartment building. Okay.
I'm going. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. And
Period.
so that, yeah, that was submission.
It was.
So when she brought that topic to me, I said,
and we hadn't even talked about what we were going to talk about today. Honestly, she did. She told me, she was like, "Look, I'm just gonna show up today." She's like, "This is on you today, friend." And I was like,
"You got to run point."
Yes. And when I was in the shower, he was just like, "What does it look like to submit? Like, what does that feel like for you?" I often think we get like comfortable. I get comfortable. I got real comfortable in just worshiping the same. We're just coming to Him in prayer the same way. And we just had this conversation the other day where she was like, "You gotta pray specific prayers." And I said, "What that mean?"
Real specific.
Like,
okay.
What that mean?
I want a 22-inch bust down, guys. Be specific, y'all, because He's got a sense of humor, and you're gonna say, "Lord, I just want to save money," and then your car gonna get repossessed. You need to tell Him how.
And that happened. She was playing, but that happened in real life to me. Like literally last year, February, my car got repossessed. And then I got a car right now that's not working. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, and I asked her that, I was like, my biggest thing with her is I told her, I said, it's not out of jealousy, it's not out of anything else. It's just I've been around where she's prayed a prayer and then like literally within the service of church, it's answered. So I'm like, am I praying wrong? Like, am I not saying like what's going on? And so it's not that I'm praying wrong. It's just literally like I need to be specific in what I want. And I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but I really feel like I'm in a season. I don't know what I want because I've submitted to so many other different things for as my job. I've just been like, well, I need a job, so let me take it. I've submitted to so many other things in my life that I don't know what Jessica really wants in this season. And I guess that's stretching me to really go for what I know, honestly. Well, I can't say that I don't know what I want. I don't want. It seems out of reach for me in this season of my life. Like, if anybody that knows me knows that I love elderly. That's my, like, me and them go together real bad, like real bad. And my goal is to have my own assisted living. That seems out of reach, and it seems like a goal more than it's something that can happen in my life right now. I'm not saying that it's ever gonna happen, because it will one day. Um, but it just seems like it's so far away, and I'm just like working these jobs that don't fulfill what I know my purpose is to helping the elderly. And so nothing is going to make me happy until I have my assisted living, and now I know that like that's my purpose. My purpose is to help these people because Vegas is getting out of control with these like elderly people just living out on the street, and that bothers me because it's like I have this vision and I know that God, like I have the business plan and everything, y'all. Like, what we doing?
He waiting on you.
And so I literally have to be like, okay, Lord, so if this is the plan that you've given me, when's it? Is it me?
Am I the problem?
Am I the problem? And I got chewed up on Sunday from my first lady. She said, you want to be comfortable, okay?
Don't y'all?
Right.
Help.
She busted my little bubble, y'all, because I just knew I was going to get a work from home job. But she answered that real quickly and swiftly. So I was like, all right, so if I'm not working from home, did the Lord tell you this or was this? Okay, I'm not even going to ask no questions.
Because she knew. She knew exactly where it came from. We be joking. We be like, so who told you that? But she knew.
Get out of my business. Because she got on you too, so don't even go
she
there.
Did. No, let me tell you something. Part of this submission process. Because she got on the both of us this past Sunday. And was just saying like what she wants to see more of out of us and where she expects us to grow and how she expects us to grow and all that. Yeah, it was out of love. But I don't know, submission just looks a little different for me in this season. And so like she had mentioned that she sees a lot of my prayers get answered, right? But even though like it feels like we've known each other forever, like we told y'all before, we just met. So there were years that, you know, people didn't see the unanswered prayers. And the only thing that really changed for me was, like we've been talking about, the mindset. That was the first thing that changed for me, was the mindset. But then the second thing that changed for me was I do pray for myself. I started praying more for other people than I started praying for myself, right? I started really trying to like look beyond me because a lot of the people that I'm praying for and all of that, like they're still connected to me. And I had to get to this point where I was like, well, God, like if you don't do anything else for me, you've done enough. Now that don't mean stop doing stuff for me, Lord.
He said,
please,
oh yeah?
Please. No,
Just kidding,
still,
yeah.
you know, I still want to succeed and I want to grow and I want to excel. But I think the reason that God really started to show his hand in my life was because when I fully submitted, I packed up and I left. I packed up and I left Texas with basically just me, my baby, my bed, and his bed. That was what we came to Texas with. I mean, to Vegas with in my car, right? And that was the first time that now granted, the Father had been telling me for a couple of years that it was time for me to uproot myself and plant myself here. So it definitely took some time. But when I finally did what he told me to do, because I knew that I had heard him very clearly, go to your daddy's house. And so that's what I did. I went back to my father's house. I got connected back to the source. And things have just been, but it's really just because I finally got to a point where when he said to go, I was going. When he said to pray, I prayed. If he wakes me up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm, fussing, but I'm praying. So yeah, submission in this season just looks, it's hard, but it's worth it because I find myself on the floor more often than not. I prostrate and just.
I think it's once you get out of like your own way. I think that's what I'm learning because I do, y'all. I make excuses for myself. I tried everything. That is my best line. But I think he's kind of like in this season for me. He's like, yes, you tried everything. Yes, you did. But you tried everything without me. And so I got that bad. I don't know. I really can't tell y'all where I got it from. It's just, I guess it's prideful, or I guess it's just something that I'm working on of how to get out of my own head of like trying to figure it out, because it just leads me to dead ends, honestly. But it's different when you're called. because you can't get away with nothing.
When we say you can't get away with nothing, nothing.
Yeah, and sometimes I get, I don't think I ever told you, I get angry sometimes when they be like, "You're called."
Right, call somebody else. Please, you got their number right. No, I understand.
On the main line.
Yeah, I understand.
And because when you're called, it's like you can't. There's no way that you can escape the call. Mm-mm. So it's like you're gonna continue to run and run and run and run and run, and then boom, he's gonna do something where it's like, okay,
yep.
And so I think I've gotten to that point where like I'm okay. Now it's like I'm in a place where it's like I'm saying okay to the call, but I'm still doing the things that I used to do. Like, Lord, I heard you. But then I go back to the old Jessica, like, okay, well, Lord, I'm waiting. And he's like, no, I'm waiting.
Right, I'm waiting on you.
You keep saying yes. Like, you keep giving me this yes, like you're going to do it. And I'm still stagnant. Like, I'm still doing the other things. Like, I know that I'm not a preacher at all. That's not what I'm saying. But for us, but I'm walking in the things that I say that I'm not like speaking to this podcast, all of that. That's crowds scare me. Cameras. We had a whole little thing where at church they were videotaping us. I cried.
Yeah.
Like
real tears.
Real tears. Like this is not for fake. Like real tears. I cried because it was like I'm terrified of like public speaking. Like I don't know. It stuns me. Like I'm like but let me dance. I dance all day. But period. When I have to use my voice, like that's something that's scary. And then when you hear like the Lord telling you like, oh, like this is going to be you, and you be like,
where that come from?
Where that's coming from? And I often think, I don't know if this is just me, but I often think like all of the people that have like submitted that I watch on like Instagram and like all these preachers, I'd be like, dang, where'd you go to get to that level of like, like it's a lot. Like I don't know, and I'm not trying to compare, but it's just like, what did it take for you to get there? Like for even I look at people at my church, it's like, where'd you go?
That was a different type of set apart, because we talk about not being isolated, and we talk about not getting away from like the people who you're close to and all of that extra stuff. But when I look at those people, I'm constantly thinking like, how much time did you have to just go away? Because oftentimes we have to take these moments of isolation, and even like when Jesus was in the wilderness, that man was by himself.
He was
by himself so that he could get in alignment with the Father, talk to him about whatever it was. And I just feel like that level of submission, I think what it is for me is that level of submission scares me. No, I am so used to being with someone when when the going really gets rough, right? Like, well, I'm gonna just go to my best friend's house and I'm gonna just sit here and blah blah blah, instead of going through whatever it is that I'm going through. And I think those people who have like gotten to this point where they are like filling out arenas and just like speaking the gospel. But it's so funny because some of them, when they get off that stage, they're so soft spoken. Yeah. Or they go and they're like, okay, I'm just gonna go and I only have this one friend. Yeah. Or I'm just gonna, do all of this with just my husband and all of this. Yeah. Like they're so powerful, but I feel like they had to take a moment where one, they had to be real with themselves. And, like she said, God asked her, what does submission look like to you?
To me, yeah.
What does that look like? What does it feel like? What are you going to do when you hear my voice and I tell you that I need you to move a certain way? I mean, because there have been some times, as crazy as it sounds, there are times where I'm like, I refuse to cry, and God is like, cry. Huh? And I'm like, no, God, like I'm good. And he's literally like, no, cry. Because if you cry when I tell you to cry, then you'll speak when I tell you to speak. And if you speak when
Mm-hmm.
I tell you to speak, then I know you'll walk where I tell you to walk. And if you walk where I tell you to walk, then you'll run when I tell you to run. So it's just we're in this place where we're just really working on, like our apostle says, moving at the speed of obedience, right? So like when he says, go do this, go do that. But I think also submission looks like we're right now, our church is talking about, the principles of giving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that when we give, to the house of the Lord, or we give to the Lord, really we're not giving to the house, we're giving to the Lord, right? Like we're sowing seeds into the ministry that is supposed to be covering us and sowing back into us. So it's just all coming full circle anyway. But you think about like, oh, well, I give my tithes all the time, so I'm good. But are you obedient? Because you can give $5,000, but are you doing what he told you to do?
Right.
Outside of giving, whatever it is, or sacrificing, like, okay, well, I'm not going to eat that no more. Or like for us, sacrificing things like alcohol, right? Like we don't drink for real anymore. We don't drink hard liquor at all. And that's a sacrifice, but it was also obedience.
It was.
And so it's like, you could sacrifice all day, but it even talks about it in First Samuel, and we'll get on that. But it even talks about in First Samuel where he's like, yeah, God, loves your sacrifice, but what he loves more is your obedience, because your obedience is going to be greater than that sacrifice. Because when Saul claimed he did what God told him to do, and he didn't destroy everything like he told him to do, he said, but I obeyed God. If you obeyed him, then why do I still see remnants of what he told you to get rid of? Because you still had sheep and donkeys and all of this extra stuff. And he said, kill everything. Take everything out. And because he wasn't obedient and he did what he wanted to do, or he did part of what God told him to do, but not all of what he told him to do, because it's still disobedience.
Yeah.
He stripped him of his title. That's okay. And said, I regret making this man king. And he said, you will no longer be king again. And that, it's not a fear of mine, but it's such a reality now that the more I continue to disobey, sooner or later he's just gonna put somebody in my spot. That's fine. If you won't do it, then I'll remove you and I'll put someone there. And I'm like, that was what made us start the
crazy.
podcast.
Yeah, no, period. Because that's so crazy, because literally that's somebody told me that. She was like, if you don't get yourself together, she was like, the Lord gonna take his hand off you. Huh?
Y'all know what they feel like? Because Saul, God left Saul.
Take his hand off me?
Took his hand.
So what that look like? Like, I don't want to know. But but to know, like, this entire time, like, the Lord has been covering you and you didn't feel like it, and you felt like he had like left you or like forsaken you, and he's like, no, my hand been on you this entire time. Like, I'm just waiting for you to obey. I'm just waiting for you to be like, okay, Lord, and submit like what you wanted for your life. And that's literally so crazy, because I was just like, I thought I was like, to be honest with you, it's more than like coming to church. A church is just, it's a space for you to come together with like-minded people. It's not your whole entire relationship with God. And if you're just going to church on Sundays and that's the bulk of the word that you're getting,
I feel sorry, because you're missing so much.
You're missing his presence. I think his presence is something that I can't like, that can't be explained, because once you feel his presence, you're gonna want more of it. You're gonna want to go after it. You're gonna want to be like, okay, Lord, like, how can I experience that again? And the more you go deeper into it, you're like, ooh. And it's so crazy, because I heard this statement where they said God has given all of him to you. He's waiting for you to give all of you to him. Like, he's giving you everything. He's giving you literally his everything, his life, all of that. Yep. He's given you every piece of him. Now he's waiting for you to give that back to him. Huh?
No, seriously.
Like,
and it's crazy because that wasn't the scripture that we were going to touch on, but like, even she knows my son is addicted to the movie David right now. So I am like heavily in First and Second Samuel. So walk with me here. But even Samuel's mother, was her name Hannah, I think. But even his mother, she prayed so much for this child. And then she submitted to the Lord and told him, if you give me this child, I'll give him back to you. And she did. If you give me this child, I'll give him back to you. And so submission is a lot about, it is about worship. It's a different level of trust.
Who?
Because submitting to God's will means doing things that don't make sense.
They don't.
Going through things that don't make sense.
Or don't. And sorry, y'all. I just got like, and everything is a test. And then you be thinking, you go back, you be like, you did all this to test me?
Especially when you finally pass it.
Right. And then, because that's what happened on Sunday. I got that revelation so quickly and so swiftly from my apostle, because he was like, the Lord said, you're ready now. Like this, you passed the worst season of your life. Huh? This was all a test?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you trust me?
Right. I remember one time, like, I don't know, like, I've told her this, like, most of my jobs that I've gotten, like, even though I didn't like them, there's always been a test in those jobs. I remember one time, I don't even know why I even applied. This was right after I had my baby, and I had just left a work from home job, and I just needed to work somewhere. Sitting there, absolutely disgusted by this job. And so, one particular girl, she came in, and she was a younger girl, and so I looked at her, and the Lord was like, tell her this, this, and this. Mm-mm. I sat there, y'all. It was like,
get somebody else.
Get somebody else right. She'll figure it out some other time. And so she went back. She had her visit or whatever, because she was in the waiting room, y'all, for like, I would say a good like 15 minutes. And I was the Lord trying to give me time to like get up, to the point where it was like burning my soul, like get up. And I was like, mm-mm. And so she had her appointment. She went back. So she came back out, and so she was checking out with the other checkout person. And so the Lord was like, get up, because your voice, like, she needs to hear your specific voice. Like, you're going to tell her something that's going to, like, change life. I was like, whatever. So the point where I stood up, y'all look absolutely crazy, because literally he like stood me up, and I was standing there, and I was like shaking my leg. And I was like, I can't do this. And like, he was like, you're going to. And so she, like, y'all, like, the girl got out the door and everything. I let that girl get out. Got out the door, and literally my legs started moving. I was like, excuse me. I was like, I know this sounds like absolutely crazy. I was like, but the Lord, I don't remember what I told her or whatever. She starts bawling, crying. She was like, I needed that so bad. She was like, my parents are getting a divorce. I feel like it was my fault. Like, all these things, and she's just crying. I was like, he was like, if you didn't tell her that in that moment, she would have went home and felt like that divorce was really her fault, and she needed to know that it wasn't her. And we were talking, and we kind of exchanged numbers, and she was like, is it okay if I just have your number? Sure. And so I gave her my number and everything. And it's so crazy, because the next day I had been going through it, like, trying to figure out this particular thing in my life, and I was getting government assistance. And literally the next day, it was like, I checked my card, it was like $1,000 some from back pay on food stamps. I said, we're about to eat good. Like, but like, I'm not saying that every time you're obedient, those things will happen, but like, it's just crazy when you are obedient. It shouldn't take a lot. And it took a lot for me, because I wasn't confident in my voice, and I wasn't confident that I was hearing God at that point. I was like, is it give me another sign, Gideon. Give me another sign, Lord. If it's you,
make it rain over there and dry over there.
He literally had to move me, y'all. Like, literally, I stood up, like, literally, like, he was like literally moving me, like, to the point where and it shouldn't get that bad. You should submit when he says it the first, like, when it's immediately when he says it. But that's my biggest thing. I second guess everything, like, Lord. Because sometimes even the things that he told me that he has for my life, like, I just be like, well, if it's you, let somebody prophesy. And he like, no,
because I told you.
Because I told you. Like,
because I told you. No, that's y'all. It's just submission is just a different form of a topic for me, because like we said, we kind of normally we plan ahead.
Yeah, we
Today
do.
just kind of took us by storm. Because I even had to submit to things like my mom and I are close, but I don't feel like we're as close as I want us to be.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I both are just not touchers. So the crazy thing is, a form of submission that he's making me do is periodically he's been making me go to my mom and say, I just need a hug.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And she's like, okay. And I feel like that's been happening a lot lately in our house in general, where like I'm just coming to her and I'm like, you know what, I need a hug. Because at first, when I first heard it, I was like, for what? Like I'm good. You know what I mean? Like I'm, because when I ask somebody for a hug, there's something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Lord, I'm good. And it's funny because the more he made me hug my mom, the more he started breaking me down. The more I started to cry more about everything that was going on. The more I started to cry out more about everything that was going on. Because honestly, outside of talking to Jess, outside of talking to my best friend Sharice, outside of talking to, my girlfriends in Michigan, like I talk about it here and there, and then I kind of, whatever. Or now I'm talking to y'all about it, right? But I wasn't really. Here we are telling y'all to let stuff steep, but I wasn't like really steeping in whatever it was that I was going through. And so, to be honest with you, this podcast is blessing me because it is just making me really sit. And now I have to submit because there's no way that I'm going to be sitting here talking to y'all about everything that we have going on and encouraging you all and doing all of this stuff. And the Lord is like, but I told you to encourage yourself. And that's my biggest, okay? That is my biggest problem. I'm so big on encouraging other people or pushing for other people and doing all this. So even though I had said in the beginning, like, well, yeah, no, I started, praying for other people and like, really wanting more for other people. I think part of the reason why God has also started to answer my prayers is because I got to a form of submission where I said, you know what, God, you're right. I'm going to come to you about myself. You're right. I'm going to come to you and tell you all of these things. And I'm going to stop not believing that you could do it for me because she and I are very similar. I'm terrified of success.
Terrified.
Terrified of success because to whom much is given, much is required. And I am the person, if you know anything about me, I used to have a virtual assistant business. And initially I thought it was like, small and I probably will never pick it back up. I don't know. Depends on what the Lord says. But I like to be in the background. I love to be in the background. You want me to be the person that no one ever sees, checking your emails, responding to people, cleaning up your back office stuff? I got you.
Got you.
But now that the Lord is like really making me submit and in this form of submission, it is doing my devotionals when I don't feel like it. Even so petty as my son broke my Apple Pencil recently, right? I take my notes on my iPad when I'm doing my Bible study. He's like, well, you finna type today, but you're still gonna do it, doing all of these things even when the circumstances aren't ideal. Um, so yeah, no, this and like she said, just this podcast, I don't do public speaking. Now, I'm be honest with y'all. I'm comfortable in front of the camera. That don't bother me. The camera doesn't bother me. I'm the type of person people I have. She was angry with me because she was like, "Oh, I didn't know you could sing." I'll sing on camera. But the moment you ask me to get on stage and start talking to people, or the moment you ask me to sing in front of people, baby, I'm a gag. I'm gonna throw up on that stage and call it a day, which is why now I gotta submit again because after our pastor told us that she wanted us to do more, she reached out to me and said, "So I want you to start doing the announcements at the end of service."
Huh?
I was like, pay attention to the screen type announcements, because I could do that. No, baby, she wanted me to do some announcements, and she said once a month. And normally I'm not like this, but part of my submission process is she said, no, but for real, like, are you comfortable talking on stage in front of people? I said no, but you brought it to me for a reason, and I'm no longer going to miss my opportunity. I just told her I don't want to be Martha no more. I want to be Mary, right? So I'm no longer going to miss my opportunity. So when she brought it to me, I ain't gonna lie, I sent a little jokey joke back, but I was like, no, you brought it to me for a reason. So I gotta grow sooner or later. And the more that I submit to the small things that he tells me to do, like, yes, we're gonna have to do a lot of work. I just I just know that there's going to be so much greatness attached to everything that it is that we're doing when we're just like, I mean, the Father said do this. He said do
Nah,
that.
for real. I think that's the hardest thing is, like she said, like success. That scares me. It's not that it's scary. If I'm honest, I think I just been in survival mode for so long that I don't know what nothing else feels like, and that's exactly what he talked about on Sunday. He was like, "Y'all know broke,
Right.
like
Now, no prosperity.
and I yeah now know something different." And for me that is true. Like I have to get out of that mindset and change my thoughts. Like it doesn't always have to be survival, it doesn't always have to be bare minimum, it could be better. um and that's not just a Jessica thought, that's a generational thought. I don't think I've ever like I only have one auntie that's successful. I did that because there is other aunties, but like aunties, like blood, like
Like blood auntie.
that is very like out there, and like she doing good for herself, but like nobody taught us how to do that. Nobody taught us how to live like good. So like when I'm seeing good, it's like that's far fetched.
Yeah.
It seems far. It's like as much as I want it, as much as my like I say like and I hope for and I pray for these things, but that's another reason why he's like, if I give it to you, like what you gonna
Can I trust you with it?
what you gonna do with it?
Can I trust you? And can I trust you to leave it in my hand?
Right, because you can have it, but that's why like disciplining us with this little. So he's like, when you do get there, you gonna know how to handle it. And and I'm honestly like I can say like in this moment, like I can say I'm ready for it, but there's still some work that needs to be done. There needs to be some more stripping, but in that I think that I feel like I'm getting closer and closer every day. It doesn't seem like, oh my god, I can't reach it. No, it's there, I just can't.
I see it.
Yeah, I can see it now. It ain't like, oh, it's right there. But I'm just grateful for the journey. I'm grateful that I don't gotta do like the journey alone. Not just with her, like with my church family, like they believe in me. Apparently my apostle believes in me because he hit me 4 times with his towel. And he said I gotta go. So
Y'all, the way she gets slapped, and he don't even remember he did it. That's what's sending me.
That's how you know it was from the Father. He said you gotta go. He's like, you can't stay here. He did. He sent my spiritual father to like literally smack some sense into me with his towel because get up.
Because why we struggling?
Right, for real. Like really, why are we struggling? And so, and I think that that's what I got on Sunday. I was like, you right. Like even though like I'm not working every day, like I still find myself waking up early trying to figure out like what I can do, how to fill my time in throughout the day. Because at first, when I didn't have no like when I wasn't working, I was staying in my bed. But now I'm like, no, Jessica, like get up, make your bed up, do these things. So when you are like going back into the world and you're working like a full time job, you're gonna be ready to do it. You ain't gonna be lazy, and you're not going to procrastinate. You're gonna get it done. And I think that that's what like that's the position I'm in now is like filling my day with just different things that even just me saying like, okay, Lord, what am I supposed to do in this moment? And he gives it to me because it's like I don't do that. Usually I'll be like, I'm chilling. Like I'm tired. Like I ain't got nothing to do. I ain't got no car. I ain't got none of that. Like what I'm doing. But it's teaching me like if you fill your day with things, you ain't gonna have no time to worry about the little things. You're gonna literally be like, all right, if this is what we doing, and it does. It makes my day go by faster, even though it's still boring. But I think he's just preparing me for when I am gonna be busy, and I'm gonna want these sitting days. So that's just it's just submitting is something that is an everyday thing. It doesn't happen overnight. But if you're hearing the call, answer it so that he doesn't have to literally strip you of everything for you to answer it. Because that's what he'll do. I'm learning the hard way, but not in a bad way. It's literally things that needed to be removed. It needed to be brought to my attention so that I can do better. Because if the people in my life, if they're not hard on me, they know me. I'd be like, whatever. But I did. And I'm learning that. I'm learning that the people that really love you ain't gonna tell you what you want to hear.
Because they want you to be great.
They do, and they see, and they do. And I'm not saying I'm not great. It's just getting there to what, first off, what the Father's already placed in me, and just submitting.
Yeah. And I think that really the only thing, well, two things. One, I was supposed to read this to y'all. I'm not gonna read it to you. Go get in your Bible. hmm and I would say, honestly, just do the whole of First Samuel 15. But where I got what I got from, it was First Samuel 15. We'll just do 17 through 23. 17 through 23. And that's basically where Samuel, the prophet, told Saul, you were disobedient. Because you were disobedient and you've constantly been disobedient. Um, God's not going to give you this anymore. So just remember that a lot of times submission is directly tied to your blessing, right? Just do what I'm asking you to do. Like I remember sitting with my son the other day, and he was frustrating me because I'm like, I'm just trying to like get this done because I'm trying to take you somewhere, right? And I really had to sit there and I said, just be still so I can do what I'm trying to do for you. And when I tell y'all, the Lord slapped me with Jesus' hand on the back of my neck. He said, ain't that what I told you? You right.
You right.
You're right. And so in that moment, I started working more on like, let me just be still, do what you told me to do, because as I do what you told me, because I can't see what you see. But I also want to make sure that we leave y'all with this nugget. Submission does not mean a lack of freedom. And I think that is where we run into this issue. We think that, well, if I submit to the Father, then I no longer have freedom and I no longer have control. First and foremost, in the grand scheme of things, if you could see your life through God's eyes, you probably wouldn't want to control it anymore. Let Big Dog take care of it. But you're still free. And actually, when you submit to God, you're even more free. I feel like I have had more freedom in my life than I did when I was trying to control everything.
No, seriously.
And when I was trying to figure
stressful.
everything out, it's real stressful because, and when I'm talking freedom, now I'm talking like emotional freedom. I'm talking, I'm comfortable setting those boundaries that I used to be uncomfortable setting. Um, I'm comfortable with, when God is like, I need you to spend this money here, and now I'm not asking like, well, how am I gonna get it back?
Because it's gonna come back.
Because literally, God has been, it's been insane. There have been times where, like you said, I popped up and I'm like, where did this money come from? So, and it's not all about money. Submitting is not all about getting things from him.
Yeah.
A lot of times it really is just when you build that relationship, there are going to be some times where you're like, Lord, I don't even need nothing. Let me just sit with you.
For real. And sometimes before you even get that, like you just be wanting to sit in his presence because you know that's where your help come from.
And it feels so good.
Sometimes it's just not, it's not about all of the words that you can say to him. It's just sometimes just sitting there and let him answer or speak, because he's gonna tell you exactly what you need to hear in those moments. So we just are so grateful that we are able to do this together. We're able to do this with you guys. And we really want to know, like, what is your journey that you're on? Like, are you submitting? Are you having a hard time submitting? Do you need help submitting? Do you just want to talk about submitting? Y'all be leaving our comments real dry.
We really want to hear from y'all.
We really do. Like, we see that we get like views and stuff, but we want to hear from y'all. Don't just listen and literally ask us questions, and then if you guys have any topics that y'all want to hear from us, like, let us know. We want to know. We want to make this more interactive. We want to help y'all out if we can, and y'all probably can help us out.
Honestly, I feel like a lot of y'all got a word in y'all belly that y'all just holding on to, and to be very honest with you, you might say something that might set us free.
No, seriously. So don't hold your comments to yourself. This goes to our friends and family that's watching as well.
Because we know
we
know
see
y'all. We be seeing you. But no, seriously, thank you for sticking with us. Of course, let all of this steep over the next couple of weeks. But I want y'all to try something too. Because our pastor, she was the one that actually gave this, I guess you could say, exercise to us. Take like a day or two and don't say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Don't say nothing to God. And when I say don't say nothing to him, outside of good morning,
Mm-hmm.
don't say nothing.
Just sit with
Just
him.
sit. Just sit with him. You're gonna realize how hard that is.
Yep, because your mind gonna be going.
Especially the people who are like super busy, the business owners, the moms, the wives, the
You're gonna be
you
thinking about
know,
groceries.
you know what I'm saying?
What your kids gonna
Did I
eat?
turn the stove off? Like
Mm-hmm.
your mind is gonna go. But I liked that exercise because it helped me realize what areas I was lacking in.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gotten me to a point where I can immediately recognize it because a form of submitting is submitting my thoughts to the
Mm-hmm. To
Father.
the Father.
So if I can control that and I can say, nope, we're not thinking about that right now. Right
Mm-hmm.
now, I am wide open to download whatever it is that God needs so I can upload it into something else. So sit for a day or two and just sit, be quiet, tell your kids, go with your daddy, go with your grandparents. And if you don't have that level of support, I know it is hard. But when the babies go to sleep or when you go and you take your shower, just sit, be quiet. And over time, if you continue to do that exercise,
It'll get easier.
watch what God gives you. It is insane. Submission is the best place to be. The best place to be. So we love y'all. We will, of course, see you in 2 weeks. Let us know if there's anything that you guys want to hear, if anything that you need. Of course, like, share, subscribe, do all the things.
All the things. All right, y'all. Y'all take care.
Bye.